Moses Mike Johnson, this leader of the Speaker of the House of the Republicans, a God-fearing man who shut down the U.S. House of Representatives to avoid talking about Trump being in Epstein files, has resurfaced. And he is on Fox News. And I'll tell you what, I loved it because he got owned by Fox News. Here we go.
He name dropped you personally yesterday, essentially trying to say that crime is worse in Louisiana than it is in California. Take a listen. We'll get your thoughts.
If he is to invest in crime suppression, I hope the President of the United States would look at the facts. Just consider Speaker Johnson's statement. Just look at the murder rate that's nearly 4 times higher than California's in Louisiana.
Have at it.
Again, Gavin Newsom will do anything for attention. He can name drop me all he wants. He needs to go and govern his state and not be engaging in all of this. Look, we have crime in cities all across America, and we're against that everywhere, and we need to bring policies to bear. My hometown of Shreveport has done a great job of reducing crime gradually, but we've got to address it everywhere that it rears its ugly head. And I think every major city in the country, the residents of those cities are open to that and anxious to have it, and we're the policy, we're the party that's going to bring that forward. I look forward to that in the days ahead.
Principally, though.
Okay, Mike, if you're so against crime, why are you telling Gavin Newsom to run his state? Because you're wanting Trump to run his state. Why aren't we running your state? Your state has a much higher crime rate. You're Mr. God Guns. Where are you on crime? Shreveport's reducing their crime rate gradually. Well, Mike, I thought you had all the fucking answers.
Here's something that we have to just start messaging over and over and over. MAGA is the pro-crime party.
Yeah.
They elected a person to lead their party that was convicted of 34 felonies. When that felon, Kanks, got into office, he pardoned violent criminals, some with sexual abuse allegations in their past and have since sexually abused. They beat up cops. They trespassed. They took a shit in the Capitol. A lot of them Proud Boys and neo-Nazis that had shirts on that said Camp Auschwitz. So this guy who goes over to Israel to go kiss Benjamin Netanyahu's ass, he supports a president that is a pro-crime president that pardoned anti-Semites, Nazis, and bigots. So they have no credibility. Anybody who voted for Donald Trump is a pro-crime politician, or if you're just a citizen, you are a pro-crime citizen. Period. I'm not going to allow for the duplicity. You either are against crime or you're not. And clearly the Democratic Party is the party of law and order and opposes crime, because the Republican Party is 100% pro-crime.
Not to mention, you add in the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. I mean, Mike Johnson, who is, we love our children, we want to protect our children. He got rid of the United States House of Representatives for summer early because he didn't want to talk about the pedophile that is creaking around in the Oval Office. And so I'm so tired of Mike Johnson with his fake hypocrite, I'm Moses, yet I am the most deplorable liar on planet Earth. So here he is on Fox News, and Gavin Newsom goes right after him, and we need more of this from our Democratic leaders.
Decided to throw a tweet up yesterday that's getting a whole lot of attention, essentially implying that prayer doesn't work. He said, quote, these children were literally praying as they got shot at. And that was in response to a clip of Caroline Levitt.
Here, let's stop that right there, because I want to ask Jennifer this. I don't think that is saying prayer doesn't work. Despite my personal feelings, I think that's pointing out an obvious fact. I think that's virtue signaling.
Okay. This is the only thing they have left, because they have weaponized their religion. And when Barack Obama said people in rural areas cling to God and guns, he was spot on. They freaked out. They lost their mind because they're the biggest snowflakes. I mean, it's so easy to trigger. But this is an absolute 100% spot on argument at this point. Your prayer has not worked. In fact, your prayer seems to have exacerbated shootings, considering that the number one killer of American children is guns. So this is a very valid argument. But like most people in a cult, whenever you use critical thinking, then they claim persecution. You have these evangelical Christians like Moses Mike, who now is claiming that he's being persecuted. Yet every day, all day, he wakes up and he weaponizes his religion to go manipulate the religious voters that vote in droves for the aforementioned pro-crime party, pro-pedophilia party, the MAGA movement.
Okay, finish it up.
Power of prayer. That now has almost 7 million views online, and it has enraged conservatives. Your thoughts?
It should enrage conservatives. Gavin Newsom is ridiculous. He's become a caricature of something. I don't have words to respond to that. I cannot believe that he's gone that low to get attention, and that's what this is about.
Okay, two things. Number one, his makeup is way too heavy. And number two, he is saying he's doing this for attention. Look at your fucking dear leader. All he does is for attention. But anyway.
Wait, I want to say something here. Kids got shot.
Yes.
Kids were killed. And this guy is the guy who gets on camera and talks about God waking him up in the middle of the night going, hey, buddy, guess what, big guy? You're Moses. You're going to be in charge of the House of Representatives. He doesn't take anything seriously except for kissing the dear leader's ass. This guy is a corporate sellout. He is the opposite of everything that the central character of the religion of Christianity represents. Jesus Christ opposed the accumulation of wealth. He was all about helping the marginalized, helping the needy. Do you think Jesus Christ would have an NRA lobbyist if he were a politician, Moses Mike? No, he wouldn't. You're a fake Christian. And to the 7 million conservatives that are outraged because kids are getting shot because we called out the fact that your prayer is bullshit, hollow words, and empty, go fuck yourselves. Because we actually care about families. We actually care about children. You just weaponize your religion to manipulate people who have hardly that much culture out in rural America. So their church becomes the epicenter of their world, a place where they have community, a place where they have a sense of camaraderie and belonging. And it is so insidious and just willfully evil to manipulate these people into thinking that you're carrying out the actions of their Lord and personal Savior, Jesus Christ. And Moses Mike Johnson is the biggest hypocrite on the planet. And I also want to point out that his roommate in Washington, D.C., is a man who has connections to a Nashville billionaire who I guess has a penchant for gay porn. And when Moses Mike Johnson arrives at home from his work, the roommate, who is an evangelical preacher himself, answers the door in his panties. All right. Why aren't we talking about that? Right. Because he's the guy who's claiming the moral high ground. And yet I don't know what's going on with all these panty parties going on at his house in D.C.
Well, I think Grindr crashing twice during the Republican National Convention is a clue. Jennifer, I want you to tell everyone how they can get factual news and have agency over what they read.
Okay, listen, every morning when Pumps and I prepare for these episodes, we go to the Ground News Vantage Plan. They're basically the Spotify of news. And I'm going to give you two headlines to amplify what I'm talking about here. The left has the following headline: Trump to award disbarred 2020 election denier Rudy Giuliani the nation's highest civilian honor. The right reports it as following: Trump with announcement, our country's highest civilian award. And so, as you can tell, the left gives you the headline that Rudy Giuliani was a 2020 election denier. And if you ever wonder why, like these crazy Trump friends that have gotten radicalized, like, why do they not see this? This is a prime example why. And when you log into this app, it categorizes the things just like that. So join us by going to groundnews.com/IHIP to get 40% off the Ground News Vantage Plan that Pumps and I use every single day. They are subscriber funded, and our favorite part is they are female founded. By subscribing, you're not only getting a tool we all need today, you're also supporting our work here at IHIP News. That's ground, GROUND news.com/IHIP. Kylie will pin that right below in the show notes. Subscribe, you will not regret it.
So in terms of Mike Johnson, just one more thing before we leave. We have a Republican congressman posting this on his story. And Representative Thomas Massey says, our press conference with 10 victims of Epstein sex trafficking is at 10:30 a.m. on September 3rd. I pray at Speaker Mike Johnson will listen to the pleas of these victims for justice and quit trying to block a vote on our legislation to release the Epstein files. So just your reminder about Epstein tomorrow. And then we have the leader of the 3 biggest countries that are dictatorships meeting, and it was a big fat fuck you to Trump. The Wall Street Journal says the leaders of China, Russia, and India promised to cooperate, a display of unity that aimed in part at President Trump. We all know Trump wants to be a dictator, but Trump doesn't have the ability to do it. I mean, the Republicans are giving it to him, but like these men, they can see forward. They are diabolical. Trump is all of those things, but he's not.
The people surrounding Trump, the larger dark money forces can. And they are colluding and machinating behind the scenes while they give Trump, you can have your story time in the Oval Office and talk about your decorating and, grope on the World Cup and steal it, the soccer cup, and people can come in and give you trophies. Meanwhile, I firmly believe that the people who put J.D. Vance right there are playing the long game. And when you really dive into these people and their public statements, these people oppose democracy. They oppose women having the right to vote. These are very dark people who call themselves the founders of the movement Dark Enlightenment.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Peter Thiel, we start seeing his fingerprints all over the Epstein, all over all of our data breaches. We know he put J.D. Vance in the position that he's in. And then just a final thing I want to show is Macron says this about Trump, and I think it reflects what everybody thinks. Paris, August 29th, if Russian President Vladimir Putin doesn't commit by Monday to meet Ukrainians Vladimir Zelensky, he would have duped U.S. President Donald Trump, French President Emmanuel Macron said. If that doesn't happen by Monday, the deadline set by Trump, it means that once again, President Putin played President Trump. Mic drop, because we all know Trump is nothing but a useful idiot for Putin. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back with more news.